Hello, everyone. My name is Nick Infernus, and welcome back to another comic book review. Our 10th comic review, in fact. Wow, how have we already gotten to 10? And what better way to celebrate this mini milestone by traveling to a different studio? Yep, I know. I've been doing Marvel for 9 episodes, and pretty much Marvel in general on my channel. But we haven't taken a look at anything from DC yet. Now, generally, I'm not as big a fan of DC as I am Marvel. I like DC. I just tend to not gravitate towards their movies as much. But it shouldn't be very surprising that DC has the Cinematic Universe, the DC Extended Universe, or the DCEU. So let's take a little bit of a break from the MCU and dive into the DCEU with their first movie, Man of Steel. So, what is good about this movie? I mean, I'm not even going to beat around the bush here. This movie is fan-fucking-tastic. There isn't a dull moment in this movie. Whether you're talking about the interactions between characters, the exposition, the action, all of it is engaging in its own way, where you're invested in the character interactions, the exposition, and you want to learn more about Kryptonian culture and what Kal-El's purpose is, and the action has you on the edge of your seat. It is fast-paced, it's brutal, there's a lot of destruction. It's a matter of life and death, and all of it is just awesome. Like, honestly, this movie was such a blast to watch. Although, not all of that comes from the action. Parts of that come from the development of Clark Kent, Kal-El, Superman, where he's this character who was sent to Earth as a baby and was raised by the Kent family, and his whole life, his whole childhood to about early adulthood, he has been told to keep his powers under control until they were needed. So now they're needed, and he learns that he's the last hope for the Kryptonian race, but because of his attachment to humanity, when he learns what expanding Kryptonian civilization would do to human race, he eventually has to put that aside and protect the people who he's grown attached to. So it's a very compelling arc for someone where it's pretty easy to make him just standard superhero, since, I mean, his name is literally Superman. I like Superman and his abilities, but in my opinion, he is one of the more basic superheroes. This movie gives him shed some light on some of his more interesting details, like all the stuff I just mentioned. He has to go against his purpose in order to save mankind. Contrast that with General Zod, who is only trying to reveal. Oh my lord, what the hell is that? Who's only trying to fulfill his birth purpose, where he has to ensure that Kryptonian civilization keeps going, no matter how cruel or violent he has to be. So in any ways, he's like the perfect foil to Superman, where Superman knows he has to go against his purpose in order to save humanity, whereas General Zod is doing what he can to restore Kryptonian civilization, even if he has to kill humanity. He doesn't give a crap about the humans. All he cares about is that the Kryptonian race. And in general, this is the kind of movie where my review can't do it justice. It's very short, and it's the kind of movie where you have to see it yourself. It is 2.5 hours long, but it's worth sitting through every minute of it. Really, the only negative thing I can think of is that Lois Lane as a character might not be the most interesting, where she's kind of just the standard reporter trying to learn more about an extraterrestrial. I don't even know if I said that right. Extraterrestrial being. But eventually she does form a close bond with Clark Kent, and they have a nice dynamic, all things considered. And she gets in on the action, so at the very least, They don't have her do nothing. Overall, given the awesome action, the high level of investment that this movie gave me, I honestly, this this cinematic universe had a stronger start than the MCU, if I'm being honest. If you're gonna ask me, it's like, hey, you want to watch Man of Steel or Iron Man? I'm saying Man of Steel in a heartbeat. Look, Iron Man is great, but it's not this. And yes, I would absolutely recommend watching it because this is one of the best. This is probably one of my new favorite movies now because there's just so little wrong with it, and it's the complete opposite of a dull movie. It's a movie where no matter what it does, I love watching it and I'm invested the whole way through. My review cannot do this movie justice. This is the kind of movie where the only way you can know what I'm talking about is if you see it for yourself. And on that note, that's going to do it for this review, ladies and gentlemen. I really hope you all enjoyed. If you did, you know what to do. I'm not going to bore you with all the generic stuff.